Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of What a Fuster Cluck. On today's episode, we're going to be continuing my journey down the be your own healthcare advocate space and topic. And with that, I have brought on, courtesy of Kelly Durrance, who's on one of the earlier episodes of What a Fuster Cluck, Miss Laine Tigges. Laine, thank you so much for coming on.
You're so welcome. Happy to be here.
So, as I mentioned, I actually met Laine through Kelly Durrance, who was on, again, one of my original episodes. And we connected on social media. We live many states apart, which I just figured out, I should say.
Mhm.
And kind of bonded over these frequency supplements that we now both take. Again, thank you, Kelly, for that introduction. But I have learned so much about you just by viewing your Instagram page, which we'll drop the info for that at the end of the show, and really understanding your healthcare journey, what you have experienced in your life. One of the things we'll touch on is Lyme's, which I think many people will be able to relate to, but amongst several other things, just all of the different triggers in life that have either caused inflammation, made symptoms worse, and your experience with healthcare in general, and what you have done to consistently show up for yourself, never give up, and get to where you are today. So, let's start with a little bit of background about you, your let's call it your health as you were growing up as a kid, and
Mhm.
then sort of morph into about how old were you when you started noticing something wasn't right, and what were those somethings?
Sure. So I was a very active kid, young adult. In fact, I was so active. I was a second degree black belt in Taekwondo and Shotokan. Like, I thought I was a complete badass. I mean, and I probably was, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it was just so cool. The confidence, like everything was just amazing. And I had all of this energy. Um, I was a varsity volleyball player starting in the ninth grade, and I played varsity all the way through. Like I had a zest and just energy for life, and it was wonderful.
Mhm.
Um, I ended up starting to feel like something was wrong in 2013.
Mm.
Coincidentally, that was the year I got married. So I was into like young adulthood. I was 29 when I got married.
Okay.
So I was to the point where I was having this numbness, tingling in my extremities, like it would go
Mm.
from my shoulders, down my arms, into my fingers. It was in my legs. It would get so bad where I wouldn't be able to drive because I couldn't even turn my head.
Oh
Like my
God.
would lock up and I would literally have to like turn my whole body to try to look behind me.
Mm.
And I remember thinking to myself, if this happens on my wedding day, I am going to be so flippin' pissed,
No. Yes.
right? Thank God, for whatever reason, on my wedding day, I felt great.
Good.
However, the days that passed were not good.
Mm.
We got married in September of 2013.
Mhm.
We had one day in between, and then we went to Barbados for our honeymoon.
Nice.
When I tell you, I spent the entire honeymoon in the massage area of the hotel.
Oh.
I paid $2,000 to just be able to move my head on my honeymoon.
Oh my
I
God.
was in so much pain. It was I wouldn't wish it on anybody to
No.
be on an island and you're supposed to just be like having the cocktails and swimming in the pool. And I mean,
Yes.
there were good moments, but
Yeah.
like it was one of those things where I was like, God, like
You're
I guess I
battling.
feel somewhat okay right now and I can go in the pool, but like I know 2 hours from now I have to get back to the massage therapist because my arms are going to be completely numb and I can't move.
Oh my God.
So it wasn't the honeymoon that I wanted. So we actually did it over again
Good.
later on for our 10 year. Yeah. But
Nice.
so it started with the numbness and tingling. And I remember when we got back from the honeymoon, I said, you know what? I can't do this anymore. And I started the Carousel of Care.
I
My
like
best
that.
friend calls it, right?
Yeah.
Doctor to doctor to doctor. And
Hmm.
everybody did MRIs and X-rays, and there was nothing.
Of course. Your blood works fine. Everything's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. It's anxiety. You had a
Yeah.
stressful thing. You were getting married. It was
Sure.
stressful. There's always, the family drama. And I'm like, yeah,
Mm.
but since when does family drama make you not be able to feel your hands? Like,
Yes.
there's something else. So
Hmm.
finally, I saw a Facebook post and it was for a local physical therapist in my area in New York
Hmm.
that said free pain evaluations
Hmm.
with a guy who wasn't only a doctor of physical therapy, but he had like, there was an alphabet after his name, right?
Okay.
And I was
Yeah.
like, look,
Yeah.
what can hurt? Like, let
Yeah.
me just go see what this guy has to say,
Yeah.
right? So I went, and I don't know if you've ever heard of a Hoffman sign. It's like a
No.
it's a screening that they can do, and I don't even know how to do it.
Hmm.
But it's something with your fingers where they put your like you have to put your fingers in a certain way and your
Hmm.
arm has to be in a certain way. And they do some kind of test with your thumb and if like your pinky moves or if I don't know. It's
Oh,
something very
interesting.
weird, but it's neurological.
Yep. Okay.
Okay?
Hmm.
They did it to me, and the guy looked at me and he said, I am so sorry. He said, but we need to get you to a brain MRI immediately.
Oh gosh.
And here's me, like instant panic,
Yeah.
right? I'm like, what? A brain MRI? I'm like,
Yeah.
what's going on? And
Oh.
he said, well, a positive Hoffman sign is very indicative of multiple sclerosis.
Oh God.
Okay. So now I go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, okay, this isn't just stress. This isn't like I pinched a nerve in my neck. Like this
Right.
guy's telling me I have something like really wrong that could put me in a wheelchair. Like
Yeah.
this isn't good.
No.
So now, of course, our wonderful healthcare system, right?
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
was 5 weeks before I could get
Uh-huh.
in to get the brain MRI.
Yes.
So for 5 weeks, I panicked,
Yeah. Stress.
right?
Hmm.
Panic. I get the brain MRI and it's clear.
Amen. That's good.
Amen.
Yeah.
Right?
But still
Thank the
frustrating.
Lord. Hallelujah.
Yes.
5 weeks, I was convinced
Yep.
this guy with this full alphabet after his name said I
Hmm.
had multiple sclerosis.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So now my brain MRI is good. And 2 years later, right, I go 2 years with no symptoms. My
Wow.
neck never locks up again.
Huh.
I never get the thing in my hands, my arms, my leg, nothing,
Oh my
nothing.
God.
2 full years. So I'm thinking,
I'm
maybe it is me.
cured.
Maybe I
Yeah.
am crazy, right? Like
Yeah.
maybe it was the stress and the anxiety. Holy shit. Like maybe
Yeah.
it is me.
Yes. Yes.
Like
Hmm.
I started to think that uh, did I do this to myself? Like
Yeah. I get
you
it.
start blaming yourself.
Yeah. Definitely.
And then because you have no proof, right?
Yes.
Everybody around you is like,
Yeah.
see,
It
you
was
were
in your
just
head.
scared. It was in your head. It was
Hmm.
anxiety. It was stress with the wedding and the
Hmm.
traveling. And I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe it was.
Hmm.
So then 2 years later, 2015, I get this weird thing where all of a sudden my entire chest and my neck broke out into these big welty hives.
Oh God.
But they weren't like, I didn't change my laundry detergent. I didn't
Yep.
use new soap or a perfume. Like
Yeah.
nothing was new,
Yeah.
right? I just
Yes.
broke out in these hives.
Hmm.
Then what happened was I thought, all right, allergic reaction 101, what do? You
Hmm.
take some Benadryl, you throw
Hmm.
some hydrocortisone on it,
Yep.
you see, like, you give it a few hours, right? And
Yeah.
see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
I got it on my back,
Oh
my
God.
butt, the back of my thighs, and it hurt.
Oh yeah.
It was kind of like shingles where it hurts,
Mm.
but it
Yeah.
itches.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, carousel of care. Here we go.
Yes.
Back
Oh
to the
God.
doctor. Doctor did like the little scratch test where they pick like the
Yep.
skin off of it to test it.
Yep.
Can't figure out what it was.
Yeah.
It came back as like some allergic dermatitis. You
Hmm.
must have touched something. You
Mm.
must have changed something at
Something.
your
Yeah.
house. And I'm like, I swear to you, I changed nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So at that time, though, now accompanying these hives over the next week,
Hmm.
my fingers swelled up like
Oh
sausages,
God.
and I got this massive joint pain.
Ugh.
So I'm like, okay, I don't know if hives and joint pain are related,
Yeah.
but what is the coincidence? Like, is there a coincidence? Is this really a coincidence that I have this at the
Hmm.
exact same time?
No.
Like, or is this my immune system? Like,
Yeah.
hello, something's
Yes.
wrong.
Yes.
And so at that time, that was the first time that somebody actually did test me for Lyme disease,
Wow. Finally.
but it was negative.
Whoa.
Yeah. And
Didn't see
here's
that coming.
where this is my big PSA to anybody and everybody. If you ever get blood work done,
Mm-hmm.
make sure you look at it yourself.
Yes.
Because I was told
Mm-hmm.
you're negative for Lyme, which
Mm-hmm.
I was per
Mm-hmm.
the CDC criteria. I was
Yeah.
negative,
Mm-hmm.
but I had Lyme specific bands that showed up in the panel.
Oh God.
So Lyme was there, but
Mm-hmm.
not enough Lyme to be Lyme.
Yeah, because your body's fighting it all this time. And maybe when you got the blood work, it was in more of a dormant state, right?
Correct.
So yeah.
Correct.
Oh God.
And it's partially the criteria from the CDC. I have a very big bone to pick with it.
Yeah.
They tried to develop a vaccine years and years ago in the
Yeah.
80s,
Yeah.
and that vaccine never came to fruition.
Of
And when they were
course.
developing the vaccine, the two most positive identifying bands for Lyme, they took out of the specimen criteria because they didn't want a bunch of false positives as they were creating this vaccine.
Okay.
But
Okay.
then the vaccine never went to market and they never put those two back into the testing
Oh,
criteria.
great. Perfect.
So currently, the two tests that we
Ugh.
have for Lyme disease are the ELISA
Hmm.
immunoblot and the Western blot.
Okay. Western blot I'm familiar with. Alyssa, I've not heard
Yeah.
of. Okay.
Yeah. So the ELISA is usually the first one they run. And
Hmm.
then if it's positive, then they'll run the Western. Some people will run the Western right away. It's really
Hmm.
doctor's preference.
Hmm.
But I will tell you, the ELISA is only about 30% accurate. The
Okay.
Western blot is about 50% accurate. So we're
Wow.
missing a lot of
Still
people.
missing a lot. Yeah. That's still not close to what I would call par.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, had I looked at my blood work
Yes.
and saw that I had the Lyme specific band there, I probably would have questioned more.
Yeah.
And I might have been like, hey, let me go to somebody that really deals with Lyme disease.
Yes.
But I never looked at it
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because back then I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have my patient portal and all of that.
Yeah.
It was just, you're
Yeah.
negative, and I went on my way.
Well, and you're also kind of not in the mindset of thinking of yourself as the partner in the process, right? And so
Hmm.
we're all sort of taught to this is the doctor. This is the person with the degree. This is the person with the
Correct.
training, the schooling, the certifications, etc. And you just kind of blindly trust them because for the longest time it was like cliche to push back on the
Absolutely.
doctor because you're
Well, and
not a
it's
doctor.
rude. And it's rude
Yeah, it's
because
rude. Yeah.
how am I supposed to say that my Google
Yeah.
search trumps what you say? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like that's rude. Like,
Well, yeah. And there's a case to be made, right? Both ways, I think. Because, like, I can't tell
yeah,
you how many times Google told me it's cancer. But yeah.
exactly.
But no, I totally get that. But again, I mean, the testing in and of itself is like subpar. And this is why you just have to never give up on yourself. But see, the more you know, the better you do, right?
Yeah,
When you know better, you do better. So this is just part of your learning evolution.
it is. It is. And so,
Yeah.
what I now know is
Hmm.
that that band that
Hmm.
I had on there,
Hmm.
combined with the inflammatory response and the rash,
Yeah.
is so indicative of Lyme disease.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it just it wasn't picked up as
Yes.
like, let's put all the pieces together. It was, the blood test says negative, it's negative.
Crazy. Yeah.
So now we fast forward another 2 years.
Hmm.
I go another 2 years without symptoms. The rash just miraculously goes away.
Mm.
The inflammatory things in my joints went away. I mean, the way that it worked with me over the last 12 years, it was
Yeah.
always flare,
Hmm.
then a phase of nothing, and then
Mm.
another flare. And
Mm.
so I got passed through the medical system so much because it was always by the time someone said, okay, let's get you to a specialist, by the time I got that specialist appointment, whatever
Mm.
I was going to them for was gone.
Yeah. Yeah. And your
So it was
body's
like,
responding differently each time. It's like the first time you're
yeah,
stiff, you have this kind of neuropathy. The second time it's hives,
yeah.
swelling,
And those are two
joint
different
pain.
people you're going to go to,
Yeah.
right?
Trust me,
They're
I've
going to
been
send
down
you to
this
an
route.
allergist, to a
Yep.
rheumatologist. Like,
Yep.
and by the time you get there, if it's gone, they look at you like you're nuts.
Yes, tell me about it. I know. Trust me. I've had that allergy testing. I've had
Yeah,
all that. It is. I mean, I appreciate the fact that they're like trying to do process of elimination, but then yeah, to your point, it still leaves you with no answers, and then waiting another 4 months to get into another specialist, right? So
right.
it's just a vicious cycle,
It is.
unfortunately.
It is.
Yeah.
So now you fast forward another 2 years and it's 2017. I had
Hmm.
a massively hard time getting pregnant, which now after seeing Lyme specialists and
Yeah.
knowing what I'm dealing with, I know that that's telltale another symptom of Lyme disease because it attacks
Mm.
every system in your body.
Yeah.
But I had a very hard time getting pregnant. I needed
Hmm.
fertility drugs to end
Hmm.
up finally getting pregnant with my son.
Hmm.
But then I had a really, really hard birth.
Yeah.
I ended up having severe preeclampsia. I mean,
Ugh.
bed padded because they thought I was going to have seizures and be hitting my head on the rails of the bed.
Oh God.
Oh, awful. My newborn baby was discharged from the hospital 2.5 weeks before I was.
Oh my gosh.
It was bad. So my husband and my newborn baby lived in a hospital room with me for 2.5 weeks.
Oh my gosh. You're breaking my
Um,
heart.
yeah. When I got out of the hospital, I went home. I was home for 4 hours and I went back
Mm.
because I know what it was POTS,
Oh
but
God.
my blood pressure was so unstable
Yeah.
that I would be really high, feeling like I was going to stroke, or I would
Yeah.
be really low, feeling like I was going to faint.
Yeah. Oh
So
my
then I got
God.
these big bouts of vertigo.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
my husband had to stay home with my brand new baby.
Oh,
So
Laine.
my mother could take me back into the doctor, wheel me in a wheelchair. I remember throwing up all over the parking lot of the hospital. I mean, it was so bad.
Oh my God.
Um, and I actually went to physical therapy for it
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the POTS was so bad, which is like, dysautonomia of your
Yeah.
nervous system. Like
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
was so bad that it threw me into a vestibular event
Oh my
where my
gosh.
inner ear got so out of balance
Mm-hmm.
that everything was spinning
Oh
all the
Lord.
time.
Oh my God.
So here I am, right? Newborn baby. I can't
Yeah.
really do the bonding and the breastfeeding.
Uh,
Forget that. Like, and at the time though, I was still like, well, I'm still making breast milk. I'm gonna pump and I'm
yeah.
gonna feed him, and my
Yeah.
husband's gonna feed him, and I'm my primary doctor. I was texting her all day, every day
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't know how to handle myself. I
Yeah.
was a mess.
And you're postpartum. So your
Yes, it was
hormones,
a
like,
mess.
oh my gosh. Yeah. It's the perfect storm. And
So
you went on to have a second baby after all that.
I
Like,
did. I did.
so there's a silver lining coming, I hope.
Yeah. So I mean, now I know that like the PCOS that I was diagnosed with prior, the infertility,
Yes.
this dysfunction,
Oh my
like
gosh.
I know that that was an endocrine system issue caused by the
Yes.
Lyme disease.
Uh,
And just this vestibular dysfunction was triggered by just this enormous stress
mm,
of the delivery, not
mm,
stress like anxiety, stress like
mm.
physical stress on the
Yeah.
body.
Yeah. Yeah.
I went to physical therapy. We fixed my vestibular issue. We got my brain and my nervous system back on track, but I struggled with the dysautonomia and the
Hmm.
POTS for years. In
Mm.
fact, I still to this day am on blood pressure medication.
Wow.
And we're talking,
Hmm.
my son is now almost 9,
Yeah.
and I am
Yeah.
still on blood pressure medication.
And now what about with your second pregnancy? How did that come to
So,
be?
yeah, so with my second, again, I had the massive infertility.
Hmm.
I had to go through multiple rounds for her.
Hmm.
Finally got her, but
Yeah.
I had the same problem.
Hmm.
So she was delivered very early.
Yeah.
She was delivered at 35 and 4
Hmm. Hmm.
and 35 weeks, 4 days.
Yep.
And I had the massive preeclampsia with her as well.
Oh my gosh.
In
So,
between that, though,
mhm.
oh, sorry, go ahead. You were going to ask something.
No, I was going to say, so like at what point does this all like really come together for you? You've been dealing with this for years.
Yeah.
You've had these incredibly scary pregnancies. You've had to go through, not being able to be at home at the same time as your baby. It's like, why is this happening to me? You're on medications, all these
Yep.
things. Like, when does the epiphany happen?
2025.
Oh my
Like
God.
it took
Like
that long.
now.
Yeah, earlier this year.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so much. I mean, when I tell you that I have a medical journal,
Yeah.
like it's like a scroll. That thing, like it's
Yeah.
intense because there were so many things that happened, right? Like
Yeah.
I also was diagnosed with something called PLE, which is polymorphic light eruption.
Hmm.
which is some very weird disorder
Mm-hmm.
where you go out in the sun in the spring for the
Mm-hmm.
first maybe 3 to 4 times, you
Mm-hmm.
erupt in this red, bumpy rash that gets everywhere.
Oh
And
gosh.
it's only until your body adapts to getting more of the sunlight and then it stops
Yes.
happening.
Oh
I
my
was
gosh.
diagnosed with that. That had nothing to do with it. It was the Lyme the whole time.
I know this is all making sense. I mean, all of
I
these
also
things.
had I had weird eye things
Mm-hmm.
where my left eye would it would get swollen and it would hurt. It felt like I had cotton balls stuffed behind my left eye that was pushing my eyeball out.
Oh God.
I went to probably 3 ophthalmologists and I was
Yeah.
like, we need to check the pressure because I
Mm.
feel like my eye is going to pop out of its socket.
Oh God.
And they could never find anything wrong.
Mm.
And at one point, I remember one ophthalmologist saying, we want to look at your optic nerve. Now,
Mm-hmm.
when someone said optic nerve, I go, oh God, it's the MS.
Yeah. Yeah. It's coming back.
It's
It's
coming
happening.
back,
Yeah.
right? So,
Mm-hmm.
like, it's not unreasonable why I developed almost like this health anxiety
Mm-hmm.
because I was being put through the ringer so
Mm-hmm.
many times and
Yes.
nobody could tell me why these things were happening to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And every time it was another scary diagnosis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I was also misdiagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis because the
Yeah.
joint pain kept coming
I
back.
could see it.
And
I
they
could
were like,
totally see
oh,
it.
you're just seronegative. That's why it's not showing on your
Yeah.
blood work, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So let's give you all of this medicine for
Mm-hmm.
that. But
Mm-hmm.
then the medicine didn't work
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because it wasn't the problem.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Same thing with the rash type things.
Mm-hmm.
Those things kept happening on and
Mm-hmm.
off, on and off. And it was allergist to rheumatologist to neurologist to like all these things trying to figure out what was wrong. I can't
Yeah.
even tell you the number of tests and treatments
Oh my
that
God.
I went through and tried over the last 12 years, not to even make myself feel better.
Yeah.
I was past that. I
Yeah.
just want to know what the heck was happening.
Yes.
You know
Exactly.
what
So
I
you could
mean?
solution for what's actually going on. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was absolutely crazy. And every single time, right, I would have the blood work to look at my inflammatory markers
Mm-hmm.
and, your SUD rate and your CRP and all these things. And
Mm-hmm.
we just couldn't figure it out. Then I had another attack back in 2021
Mm-hmm.
where my gallbladder started to really erupt. Like, I mean, I was throwing up, I
Oh
had
God.
pain, I was
Yeah.
doubled over,
Yeah.
and it would be days. And I went and had the HIDA scan, the
Mm.
radioactive scan for my gallbladder. Yeah, they found a
Yeah.
couple stones, but like they
Mm-hmm.
were like not anything that should cause that kind of pain.
Mm.
And nobody could tell me what was wrong. So it was just this Fuster Cluck of
Yep.
like just
Yeah.
crazy, crazy things.
Mm-hmm.
And then it all came to a head this year. And
Mm.
the way that this happened was I just got a cold. I got
Mm-hmm.
a really, really nasty cold.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to urgent care because it was on a Sunday. And I was like, I just cannot take it anymore. I'm not
Yeah.
sleeping. I think I have a sinus infection. Like,
Mm-hmm.
let me just go get something to help it.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to urgent care and I say, listen, I've had this nasty cold. I can't get past it. They said, yep, you have a sinus infection. What other symptoms do you have? I said, well, I have this cough too. And I said, by the way, my joints hurt like really bad.
Yeah.
And I remember the lady said to me, she goes, well, that happens sometimes with a cold virus.
Yeah.
Your immune system just gets inflamed. I'm going to give you
Mm-hmm.
some prednisone. Cool. So I go home, take the prednisone.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell you, I have never been sicker.
Oh
I got
God.
so much worse.
Oh God.
So now here we are in the day and age where I have Chat GPT and I can go and ask Chat GPT what's going
Yes.
on. So I
Yes.
said, here's what I went to urgent care for. Here's what they gave me. I took it and here's how I feel now. And I kid you not, it said, if this was something inflammatory, the prednisone should make you better,
100%. Yeah. People swear by
right?
it.
Correct. That
Yeah.
is a steroid. That
No.
should
Yeah.
cut the inflammation immediately.
Yes.
The fact that you're not feeling better
Mm-hmm.
says that there is something else going on here.
Mm.
So now I'm like, well, what could that be? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
what diseases, infections, or syndromes
Mm-hmm.
would be made worse by prednisone?
Yeah.
Lyme disease was on the list. So I
No
think to
way.
myself, okay, self, like, I'm not going to go to the doctor and say, Chat GPT told me this.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But what I will do is say, I
Mm-hmm.
have been tested for Lyme disease 5 times
Mm-hmm.
in the last 12 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to be tested again because
Mm-hmm.
I have all these symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I did.
Okay.
This time I was smart
Mm-hmm.
and I now have patient portal because now who doesn't have a patient portal in
Mm-hmm.
2025?
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't waiting for my doctor to get me the results. I'm looking in my patient portal
Yeah.
every 2 hours on the day I'm expecting the results because I
Yeah.
said I can look at it myself.
And feed it into Chat GPT.
So I looked at it myself and I
Yeah.
saw that there were bands there. And
Mm-hmm.
according to the CDC's criteria, you have to have 5 bands out of 10 be
Mm-hmm.
present in
Mm-hmm.
order to have Lyme disease or be positive for Lyme disease.
Okay.
I had 4.
Okay.
So in my head,
Mm-hmm.
I immediately went to, well, if I was to take a pregnancy test and the line is faint,
Yep.
but it's there, you're
Yeah.
still pregnant,
Yep. Story of my pregnancy.
correct?
Yeah.
Like a little pregnant is still pregnant. So to
Yeah.
me, like a little Lyme, that's still Lyme.
Yes,
I
exactly.
don't even care what this doctor says to me now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
off to a Lyme specialist or a tick-borne specialist because
Yes.
I want to know why that's there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's what I did.
Okay.
So I ended up there's a girl locally in my town who
Mm-hmm.
has had Lyme disease for 21 years. I know her
Mm-hmm.
well, I know her mother. So I went to her and I said, I need to know what doctor you see
Yeah.
because I'm going,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So she pointed me to the direction of this doctor in Albany. I immediately scheduled an appointment. They were so kind that in the meantime, they said, you know, we're going to tell you what to tell your primary doctor.
Mm-hmm.
We can't prescribe medicine for you yet because you're not an established patient, but
Yeah.
we're going to help you get what you need until we can see you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they were able to tell me what to tell her,
Mm-hmm.
so that she did get me started on some
Mm-hmm.
antibiotics.
Yeah.
She gave me nowhere near enough, but it was enough to get me to my appointment.
Okay. Okay.
Then I went to Albany. I saw this guy. I got into a clinical trial.
Mm.
I got into all sorts of treatments. I
Mm-hmm.
have done everything from oxygen therapy. I've done IV antibiotics. I did dual oral antibiotics for 5.5 months. And if you know antibiotics, like I took some heavy ones,
Yeah.
doxycycline and
Oh yeah.
ceftriaxone. I took
Mm-hmm.
them both together for
Oh
five and a half
God.
months twice a day.
Wow.
Like my gut
Ugh, I can
is a
only
mess.
imagine. I can only imagine.
Plus so many other supplements, right? Like
Yeah.
the tinctures and the herbs and all of these things. I was taking 42 pills a day.
Yeah.
And my girlfriends would make fun of me because they would say going out to dinner with me was absolute chaos because I
Yeah.
had appetizer pills and dinner pills and dessert pills and all the
I'm
things.
like that with my supplements. I don't I mean, yeah, it's not pretty,
So
but I do what I have to do.
yeah, my
Yeah.
my that's what my best friend said. She's like, going out
Yep.
to dinner with you was absolute chaos. She's
Yeah.
like, you never knew what pill you were gonna pop out of your purse
Yeah.
next. And I'm
It's
like,
fine.
well, I had a regimen that I had to
Yeah.
stay.
Exactly. Carry on. I'm trying to get
Yeah,
better over here.
exactly.
Eat your dinner.
And so what happened was the antibiotics when that bout of joint pain and
Mm-hmm.
discomfort and all of the things,
Mm-hmm.
I was on antibiotics for 5 days and it was gone.
Wow. Already going to
So
work.
yeah, so then I got really smart and I started to think, okay, I know they want me on antibiotics forever.
Mm-hmm.
They want you to be on for 2 to 3 years. And I said, I'm not doing that to my gut.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way.
Yeah.
So I went in, I joined a ton of Lyme support groups
Mm-hmm.
and I started to talk to people because I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to know what Chat GPT or what the internet tells me to do. I want to hear from patients who have
Yes.
been cured,
Yeah.
helped,
Yeah.
their Lyme in remission completely,
Yeah.
just to figure out like how I wanted to treat this. And I
Mm-hmm.
finally was able to realize that the place I was going in Albany was absolutely wonderful, but it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't the place for me.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
didn't agree with being on antibiotics for a very, very long time. So I found
Yeah.
a different doctor in Long Island who I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely love.
Mm-hmm.
I see her virtually. She works with my primary for vitals and things like that.
Great.
And we are so aligned
Mm-hmm.
on how we are handling my Lyme diagnosis. I am off all of my Lyme protocol,
Wow.
except for one pill right now,
Mm-hmm.
because I do have stage 3 adrenal fatigue. So
Mm-hmm.
my adrenal glands are shot, and that
Yeah.
is the years and years of the adrenaline and the cortisol firing because I was under
Yes.
so much stress,
Yes.
physically, emotionally, mentally, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I do take an adrenal supplement to
Mm-hmm.
help kind of hug my adrenal glands. But
Mm-hmm.
other than that, this lady, she was so good. She loved the frequent supplements that you and
Cool.
I both love.
Mm-hmm.
She said, absolutely take those, like
Mm-hmm.
100%. I love that. Get on them. So I
Mm-hmm.
did that. And, every once in a while, I do a little extra like antimicrobial support with her,
Mm-hmm.
or we do a little something else to help based on my symptoms. But I
Mm-hmm.
see her every 6 weeks and we just continue to move the dial based on how I need.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I've never felt better.
Oh my
And
gosh,
I
thank
know
God.
part of it is because I finally know
Yeah.
what the problem was.
Yeah. And it explains things. It helps to put you in a really like a more state of ease because now you're not guessing, you're not wondering what's going on, what could all of this be, right? And so you're
Yeah.
just in a better state of mind. But let me ask
Yeah.
you this. So I'm thinking back to when I was a kid and I had found, I think it was called a Lone Star tick or something like that, very
Mhm.
tiny. And
Yep.
so they immediately put me on Augmentin, I
Mm,
think for 15 days, if I'm not mistaken.
nowhere near enough.
And it's funny because the idea was at that time anyway that if you had the tick and it bit you, if you did the antibiotic like within a certain time frame from getting the tick off your body, it prevents the Lyme from like getting into your system. I don't even know, but it's funny because I've not ever been tested for it since. So when you say these two tests, Western blot in particular, are these blood tests or are these more invasive than that?
No, they're blood.
They're just blood tests. Okay.
Just blood.
Okay.
But the thing is there's a lot of testing that you can do that is so much better than those that are
Mhm.
very accurate,
Mhm.
but they're not covered by insurance because they
Mhm.
don't fit that CDC criteria. So
Yeah.
my Alyssa and my Western blot were both considered negative.
Right.
Even
Yeah.
though I had 4 Lyme bands out of the 5 needed, I had
Yeah.
4.
And
I
that's
was
the
still
important thing
negative.
to look for is those bands.
So then when I went to the tick-borne specialist,
Mhm.
we did testing through a company called IGenics.
Mhm.
They're out of California. They are the number one tick-borne based testing company.
Okay.
I came back glaring
Mm.
for not only the Borrelia burgdorferi, which is Lyme disease, I also tested positive for Bartonella,
Mhm.
which is another tick-borne infection.
Oh God.
And they suspect that I can possibly have Babesia,
Okay.
which is a third tick-borne infection.
Oh my God.
Because when a tick is on you, it doesn't usually just give you one thing because it's
Mhm.
all mixed into their
Ugh,
saliva.
I know it's so gross.
So it usually comes with some friends.
Mhm.
And the
Mhm.
whole like if it hasn't been on you for 24 hours, that's garbage
Oh, I'm
because
sure.
maybe for Lyme, because
Mhm.
Borrelia is one that it has to kind of like burrow to get into you,
Yeah.
but others don't.
Yeah.
Babesia,
Yeah.
that thing can be transmitted just with saliva touching you. They
Ugh.
don't even have to burrow.
Nope.
And here's the other thing, like I'm super good with my kids about doing tick checks and things
Yeah.
like that.
Mhm.
But in all honesty, it doesn't really matter
Yeah.
because the tick doesn't even have to burrow. It can be on you outside for 10 minutes and then fall off, and you can have been
Something.
transmitted the disease and never even know it.
Yeah, I
And
know.
it's
It's so
just when
rough.
does your immune system get so dysregulated that
Mhm.
all of a sudden it can't hold it back anymore and something erupts and you
Mhm.
get symptoms.
Mm.
The other thing I found out, which is really crappy, is it can be transferred in utero.
Ugh.
So because I had Lyme disease at the time of having both my kids can have it
Oh, wow. Now, when can you get them tested?
anytime I want to.
Okay.
But I'm working with my doctor in Long Island on that
Mm-hmm.
because what she said is because they have no symptoms,
Mm-hmm.
I can't stress my system anymore right now.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I need to get you to a point
Mm-hmm.
where we are good,
Mm-hmm.
where this thing is really in remission.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then we can test them and worry about them. But
Yeah,
the last thing that I need right now
is to find that out.
is a big, huge stressor, especially when they're not showing any symptoms
Mm-hmm.
and they're Lyme, their immune systems are so sharp because they're.
Yeah. Yes.
The
Yeah.
other thing that she said was make sure that
Mm-hmm.
you are giving them immune support. Make sure that they are getting all of the vitamins and minerals that they
Mm-hmm.
need.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, I'm gonna tell you right now, they are chicken finger, macaroni and cheese, peanut butter and jelly kids.
Like
Like
a
they
huge
don't
swath of
eat,
kids. Yeah.
yeah, they
Mm-hmm.
don't eat like an adult eat,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yes, my son loves broccoli and green beans, but
Mm-hmm.
my daughter won't touch a vegetable to save her life.
Yeah. It's
So,
tough.
I mean, not to bring it up again, but like I give them the rise and the source from
Mm-hmm.
Frequency because I'm like,
Yes.
I'm gonna pour the minerals and the
Mm-hmm.
nutrients into them
Yep.
because it keeps them going. And
Yeah.
I will get them tested at some point.
Yeah.
But I agree with her, like I have to be okay first.
Yeah. No, it makes perfect
Um,
sense. Makes perfect sense.
because
And
that's going to be a long road if we find something.
yeah. Yeah. And
The
then
other
what do you
thing
do?
is, yeah, the other thing is that IGeneX testing, we also did some other testing and found out that I also have mast cell activation syndrome, which
Mm-hmm.
is part of the hives and the
Yeah.
allergic reactions,
Not
right? Because my
surprising.
body doesn't methylate the histamine.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also have reactivated Epstein-Barr virus, which is mono.
Right.
I'm not
Mm-hmm.
contagious,
Yeah.
but what happens is when you're a kid,
Mm-hmm.
you get mono and
Yeah.
it's dormant, mine
Mm-hmm.
won't back up.
Yep. Well, and with the limes, and again, the inflammation and all of
Yeah,
that, it just makes perfect sense. I mean, really,
it does.
it all comes together. And I feel like, maybe 15 years ago, I wouldn't have known this or it wouldn't have made any sense at all. But like knowing what I know now, probably knowing what you know now, it would seem so obvious, right? Even if it
Oh,
wasn't
absolutely.
necessarily limes, but just all of the things that lay dormant in your system that can come back to bite you or flare up, right, at any given time, and
Yeah.
just not giving up,
Yep.
continuing to listen to your body, continuing to pursue like the answers to try to figure out what's the root cause so that you know how to treat it. So, my question is, can you be cured of it? Or will it just get to a point where it's just kind of subsided and dormant enough that you shouldn't have the stiffness, the neuropathy, like all these things?
It's the latter. You
Mm-hmm.
can't really be cured. If
Mm-hmm.
you have Borrelia,
Mm-hmm.
it's you have Borrelia. What you
Yeah.
have to do is just get it to a point where it is so dormant and it is so asleep
Mm-hmm.
that your immune system can handle keeping it that way.
Mm.
Um,
Okay.
And that's just because like Borrelia is a very crazy bacteria. It is
Mm-hmm.
literally shaped like a corkscrew. And
Mm.
it gets attached to your
Mm-hmm.
organs, your connective tissues,
Mm-hmm.
your cells, and it drills down in. So
Mm.
it's really, really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like three different forms of the bacteria, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's
Mm-hmm.
like the babies, the teenagers, and the adults. So
Yeah.
it's really hard to attack all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would
And
imagine like if you get sick or something like that, anything that
you
triggers an
have flares.
inflammatory response is gonna, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have flares. But
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times you can keep them at bay.
Mm-hmm.
There's things that you can do, like, the specialist I see on Long Island, like she said to me, she goes, "Look, we're getting into cold and flu season.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel any symptoms, I need to know right away because
Yeah.
there's things that they can do to help me
Mm-hmm.
because they know what's going on
Yeah.
rather than just a guessing game,
Yeah, definitely. Like
you
how can
know?
you get ahead of the viral
Exactly.
curve?
Exactly. And the other
Yeah.
thing too is, I know you mentioned like they gave you like a short stint of Augmentin. You
Mm-hmm.
said like 14 days or 15
Yep.
days.
Mm-hmm.
That blows my mind because now knowing what I know, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you have strep throat,
Mm-hmm.
they give you Augmentin or they give you amoxicillin
Amoxicillin,
and
clindamycin.
they
Yeah.
give it to you for 14 days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, strep throat, the
Mm-hmm.
reason why you can go to bed one night with like a scratchy, maybe a little bit of a sharp throat and wake up swallowing knives
Yeah.
is because strep throat replicates the life
Yes.
cycle of the bacteria. It replicates every 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And the only time that you can kill bacteria with antibiotics is on that replication cycle.
Interesting.
Lyme is a 21-day replication cycle.
Oh, goody.
It is so slow.
Yeah.
So that's why 14 days does nothing. You don't
Yeah.
even hit the life cycle of it.
For the
So
for the antibiotic to do its
yeah,
thing.
so
Yeah.
that's why it's months upon months, if not
Yeah.
years of antibiotics. And
Mm-hmm.
if you're gonna catch it, like if you actually, I never even saw the tick on me. I've never
Yeah.
seen one in my life. I never got the bullseye rash, and most people
Yeah.
don't. And that's
Yeah.
such a misconception.
Yeah.
I think only 30% of people get the bullseye
Mm-hmm.
rash.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you see a tick on you and you get the tick tested or you
Hmm.
get tested and you know that you have been exposed to Lyme disease,
Yeah.
that is why a short stint of antibiotics doesn't cover it. You
Wow.
have to go for 30 to 45 days at the minimum.
That's crazy. God, now I feel like I need to get tested.
Don't let me scare you.
No, honestly, it's so funny because like I've been dealing with this hive thing since my kids were born, and I just thought it was just something that stemmed post-pregnancy, like hormones, and of all the things that I feel like I've overcome, my migraines, my insomnia, anxiety, like it's this chronic urticaria is my
Yeah, hives.
diagnosis. And of
Yep,
course, the doctors are like, "Well, we really don't know what causes it or why." So stress is where they go.
of
And
course.
here's the treatment for it. You can take up to 4 antihistamines a day. And for some people, it just goes away magically. And so, I mean, I'm always curious. Why not? If there's a test that I can get for something, I'm going to do it. So probably I'm going to get tested and tell you.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
so, okay, now you and I chatted offline, and one of the things you mentioned to me, because I can only imagine what this experience has done to your psyche, to your well-being. Like you mentioned, you got married, you're on your honeymoon. There's just no reason at all why, you would be in this predicament during your honeymoon if not for this underlying condition, and then to struggle year after year, or sometimes every 2 years, whatever the case may be. Being a new mother, how you imagine that to be this magical experience and you're in chaos, basically, and
yeah.
not well, and just trying to get your shit together and just stressing like what's wrong, and constantly this looming potential MS diagnosis, all of these things. And you mentioned a type of journaling that you do. So,
Yeah.
do you want to share a little bit about that?
Sure. So I do it now. I did not do it then.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you, I actually found the book. It's called Mind Your Body, and
Mm-hmm.
it's by a licensed social worker, Nicole Sachs.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just followed her on social media, and I started to see more and more of her posts. And I thought, gosh, what she's talking about sounds really cool. Now, what
Mm-hmm.
she does is something called journal speak, and
Mm-hmm.
I just took it to a whole new level. So, um, what I started doing was when I started to get my diagnosis, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
was going, you still have to jump through all the hoops of the
Yeah.
testing and
Yeah.
what doctor, and I juggled with, am I
Mm-hmm.
going to see this doctor or that doctor? Because I
Mm-hmm.
liked things about them both, but which one's going to be better for me? And I
Yeah.
struggled with that decision. And,
Mm-hmm.
then you have the people that tell you you need to go to Germany to get treatment and you need to do, like hypothermia. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God, like I am
Hypothermia.
hormonal. Like I can't go to
Yeah.
Germany.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
Yeah. I know.
so I was really struggling. And I kind of leaned into a bunch of podcasts because I
Mm-hmm.
thought, you know what, the best thing for me, and
Mm-hmm.
just because I know my body is
Mm-hmm.
education. The
Mm-hmm.
more I know, the better I feel because I
Mm-hmm.
feel more in control.
More empowered. Yes.
So I started to do a lot of podcasting. I went
Mm-hmm.
out every morning for a walk. I would walk for a full hour and I would
Mm-hmm.
listen to podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
And journaling kept coming up. And that's when I connected journaling with what I was seeing from Nicole's
Mm-hmm.
posts. And
Mm-hmm.
I ended up buying her book and I read it.
Nice.
Now, what I do, and it's been so helpful,
Mm-hmm.
is I literally say to myself, now, mind you, I have two children and a husband. So, like, I do this either when nobody's home
Yeah.
or like the door is shut and locked and like nobody bother me. Mom needs 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It was literally an episode of Bluey.
Yeah.
Mom needs 20
Yeah.
minutes,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I get out a piece of paper and I write at the top, what is bothering me today?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I call it rage journaling.
Yeah.
I write everything.
Mm-hmm.
It can be stuff that if anybody ever read it,
Mm-hmm.
they would think that I am one, a complete lunatic,
Yeah.
and two, I am the worst person on this planet.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter what I write.
Yeah.
It's for me and
Mm-hmm.
only me.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens is, and what I found out is emotion that you hold in,
Yes.
things that you don't process,
Mm-hmm.
things that you wish you would have said and
Mm-hmm.
never said,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
things that bothered you that you never spoke up about,
Mm-hmm.
all of these things, it's like in your body, you think of it like you have this internal beaker,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And the beaker fills up and fills up and fills up and fills up. And at some point, that
Yeah.
beaker spills over.
Yeah.
And I've learned that your nervous system
Mm-hmm.
is really, really keen at trying to protect you.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is the more that you push these emotions down into this beaker,
Mm.
the nervous system says, ooh, she's not letting us feel that.
Mm-hmm.
So that must be dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So every time this beaker starts to overflow,
Mm-hmm.
the nervous system says, let's go, give her a headache because I
Yeah.
want her to think about the headache. I don't want her to pay attention to that because it's
Yes.
dangerous.
Yeah. Makes
So
sense.
your body can actually give you physical symptoms
Mm-hmm.
because of an emotional suppressment.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
sounds completely woo-woo and it
No.
sounds kind of crazy, but I believe in it
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not saying that my Lyme disease was caused by emotions. That's not what I'm saying. The
No.
bacteria is real, the
Yeah.
testing is real,
Yeah.
but I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
that it didn't help.
No.
And
No.
so I knew if I'm going to do everything I'm going to do to get better,
Mm-hmm.
I have to fix both parts.
Mm-hmm.
I can't just focus on the Lyme disease, but continue to suppress things that I know I need to feel because I mean, I had two major traumas
Yeah.
one when I was 16 and one when I was 24.
Mm-hmm.
And I, I know that I did not process those
Yeah.
because one, at the time I didn't know how, and two, it
Mm-hmm.
was too scary to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I know I suppress those. And then
Mm-hmm.
there's lots of little things, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's times when a family member says something and
Yeah. Light up.
I want to lash out and light
Yeah.
them up and,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know, and I can't because
Yeah.
you have
Because
to
we're civilized
keep
people.
your cool. Right. So when I rage journal,
Yeah.
I write down I mean, you
Good.
want to know what I wish I would have said to somebody?
Yes.
It's on that piece of paper.
I love it.
And I write down everything. And I
Mm-hmm.
give myself
Mm-hmm.
as much time as I need. I
Mm-hmm.
don't usually go past 20 minutes
Mm.
because then you kind of get into a spiral.
Yeah. Then you're ranting.
Go as deep and as long as I need so
Mm-hmm.
that I feel like you'll know when you're
Mm-hmm.
doing this, you
Yeah.
will literally feel lighter.
Yeah. I can
And
totally see it.
you
Mm-hmm.
write until you feel lighter.
Mm-hmm.
And when I feel lighter, it goes into the paper shredder
Mm.
or it gets ripped up
Yeah.
and thrown in the garbage,
Yeah.
read
Burn
underneath paper
it.
plates,
Whatever.
burn it, whatever you have to do. But
Yes.
I never read it again, and
Mm-hmm.
nobody else ever reads it.
I love
And
that.
it's so damn fulfilling.
Yeah, it's total. It sounds completely therapeutic because let's be honest, sometimes
It
crazy
is.
things happen and you really do want to say something just as crazy, if not crazier, and you
Yeah.
know that that's just going to make things worse, but you feel like you need to justify it, and so sometimes just getting it out on your own is the way to
Yeah.
go. I know people who do this and then they just hit the delete button, right? Like if they're typing
Yeah.
it or something. So I love this. I think that's a great takeaway. So everything we've learned today, and again just the message of being your own healthcare advocate. Number one, I want you to tell people where they can find you on Instagram so they can continue to follow your journey and how much better you're doing day in day out, new things you're trying, you're getting a new certification. So how
I
can people find
am.
you, and what is this certification?
Sure. So I am on Instagram and it's at Feel to Heal Wellness.
Okay,
Um,
the
the
number
reason
two
I'm
or
not on,
spelled out?
I'm sorry. Oh,
Is it
T-O, like
okay?
F-E-E-L
Okay,
T-O. Yeah.
got it.
Feel
Okay,
to Heal Wellness.
got it.
The reason why I'm not on Instagram I mean, you can search me by my name, Laine Tigges,
Mm-hmm.
come up.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
the reason I put on as Feel to Heal Wellness is because I am going for a certification. I'm actually taking my final this week and I'm super
Nice,
excited. I will be a um certified breathwork practitioner through the
nice,
Practitioners of Holistic Medicine.
very good.
Very excited about it because when I got into being diagnosed with Lyme, there was a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, and a lot of grief. I
Mhm.
actually had to grieve the years that I missed.
Yeah.
I had to grieve the newborn stage with my son that
Yes.
I couldn't be a part of.
Yeah.
I was present, but I didn't,
You
my
didn't feel
husband did
good.
the brunt of it, you know?
Yeah.
There were a lot of missed moments and missed opportunities that I
Mhm.
felt guilty for. Like I had
Robbed
to
of.
process all of that grief and all of that mom guilt. I mean, you talk
Mm-hmm.
about mom guilt, it was
Mm-hmm.
bad.
I know.
I still have my moments,
Yeah. Well, we're human.
but breath work really came in because my daughter takes riding lessons up at a
Mm-hmm.
stable,
Mm-hmm.
it's called Fallbrook Stable. And if you follow them on Instagram, they are a wealth of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but so I started doing healing sessions with the horses, and
Wow.
that enables you to go really deep into heart coherence, and
Mm,
you have to be working with your breath at the same time.
mm, mm-hmm.
And I felt like such a different person coming out of those sessions that I
Yeah.
said, you know what? I have to dive into breath work because there's something to be said about how I went in feeling like a tornado.
Yeah.
I came out feeling very calm.
Yes. Yes. I can
So that's
remember.
why I dove into breath work. And
Mhm.
if I can just, if I can help somebody else
Yes.
use a holistic method to
Hmm.
just, whether it's relieve anxiety or even just, even just like getting through a tough time in your life. Like even
Hmm.
my daughter, right? Like she came to me the other day and she was so upset
Yeah.
because her brother did something and took her,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And she was doing the,
Yeah.
and I was able to help her because now I know what that means.
Yes.
And I was
Yes.
able to tell her, don't let your body go like that. Don't let your body do the, I want you to
Yes.
do it. And she
Yeah.
goes, oh, and I go, you do it. You breathe like that. So she started going, was able to
Mm.
bring it down so much faster
Wow.
than if
Yes.
you let your body come out of a hard cry.
Yeah.
She took control of it and she
Yeah.
told the nervous system, this isn't something I have to be crazy about. I
Yes.
can control it and bring it down.
I love that. I'm definitely going to use that. In fact, Kelly did a breathing exercise on the episode that we did together. And I know people have personally reached out and said they've used it on their
Yeah,
kids. So, I mean,
it's
yeah,
amazing.
get back to breath work. My nono, my grandfather, I can remember years ago, and he was like a from a modest upbringing, right? Came from an immigrant family. And he used to always talk about the importance of breathing from your diaphragm, which I thought was
Yes.
interesting. Like he was so
Yes.
wise beyond his time. And he's the one who used to always tell me, he used to say, doctors are given a license to practice medicine, which does not equal expert. So never
That's
be
very true.
afraid, right, to question and do what you need to do. And so now people know where to follow you on Instagram. They know where to find you. You'll have your certification. You'll be able to help even more people, which is awesome. And I'm sure at some point we'll have you back on and you can share with us just how much further you've actually come. And if people have questions about your story and your
Absolutely. I'm an open
experience,
book.
they will, I'm sure, be reaching out to you or following you on Instagram, right? And so again, and even with the frequency products that we both take, that we both distribute, that we're both super passionate about, I think
Yes.
that there's a lot to be said for, again, to get woo woo, right? The frequency, the harmonic charge.
Absolutely.
And I think more people need to realize that it's getting back to your breath, getting back into nature, right? And just getting out of this crazy rat race. So, Laine Tigges, or Tigges, sorry.
That's okay.
Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you for
on and
having me.
sharing your story. I totally appreciate your time. Looking forward to round two and excited to see what happens when you get your certification and where that takes you.
Me too. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Thank you so
All
much.
right. Bye.
Bye.